Hey, what up, everybody? steviebreech coming to you. Just got done reading an article posted by Paul Heyman talking about his dream WrestleMania match for WrestleMania 30. What would his main event be? His main event that he picked was unifying the WWE Championship with the World Heavyweight Championship in one match, having his two guys, CM Punk, go up against Brock Lesnar to do this. And I thought this was an awesome idea. I remember back at WrestleMania 27, it was the talk of the town that they were going to unify the titles. They were going to go down to only having one world champion again, I guess you can say. Nowadays, right now, they need this more than ever. The titles, honestly, don't really mean anything. I think the WWE Championship is looked at as the main goal. Then you have your World Heavyweight Championship, which was looked at almost what the Intercontinental Championship once was. And then your IC belts and your United States Championship have been watered down so bad that I don't even think they hold water to what the European belt was back in the day during the Attitude Era. Maybe a little bit more than what the Hardcore title meant, because the Hardcore title just changed hands so often, just over and over and over again. But I think that you definitely want to have John Cena involved somehow in some sort of a main event, with him being the guy that's there. But if you want to have one big monumental match for WrestleMania 30 that's going to mean something that everybody in the world that's going to want to get a piece of, this WrestleMania coming up is going to be one of the ones that has sort of a question mark on it. We don't know if we're going to get The Rock. You know, The Rock's been, a big part of the WrestleMania success for the last 3 years. And we don't know if he's going to be there. Brock Lesnar, you can say maybe he hasn't really paid off since he's got there. There was a whole bunch of buzz when he first came in after WrestleMania 28. He had the big match against John Cena. But this feud against Triple H that just never seems to want to die and never seems to want to end, I don't even think we have an ending to it now. Even though they're not talking about Lesnar and Triple H, that doesn't mean that I don't think someday down the road they're going to want to bring this up again. I mean, they've had the SummerSlam match, the Mania match, and the Steel Cage match at Extreme Rules, but I think there's still blood in the water there, and I think WWE still thinks that there's money to be made off of this feud, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to it sooner than later. But if you really break it down and you really think about it, has WWE got their money's worth out of Brock Lesnar? I don't think they have. I thought they were going to get a guy that was going to be, bam, right there on the front page. Honestly, I thought that Brock versus Rock would have been the WrestleMania 29 pay-per-view, trying to get those UFC fans that have come in, more than likely they were just going to come in and they were going to buy that first fight. They came in, they bought that Cena fight. SummerSlam, I think, did well. It did better than expected, but I don't think it still did the numbers you thought they would do it with, with Brock Lesnar highlighting it. I think the one reason that he doesn't have the appeal that he once did is because of how often he is used, and that is weird, because you would think that if he's used less, that makes you want to see him more, because it's not, he's not on every pay-per-view like a John Cena or a CM Punk. It's not like I'll skip this one and then maybe I'll get him on another one. It's like you're either going to get him now or you're not going to get him for a few months after that. But Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman in the corners, trying to give advice to both guys. I had this in my mind just a minute ago. They've done this before. It wasn't the one I was thinking of. The one that just came to my mind was Shawn Michaels and the model Rick Martel, and Scary Sherry was out there in the corner of both guys. But there's been other matches where they've used this gimmick where both guys are going at it. Miss Elizabeth with WrestleMania 5, and she was out there. And there's been others. Like, I couldn't think of the real big one that was in my mind that was more recent than those two. That was a good thing. But you really want to get CM Punk to the place where you really know that he is the star of the WWE. That way, if there was anything that happened to John Cena, you would have a surefire, guy to plug in there that everybody in the world is going to know. Putting him in a match against Brock Lesnar that's going to deliver and be good is that way. I think the one reason why CM Punk hasn't reached the heights that we all thought that he would in 2011 when he went on his Summer Punk tour was for the main reason of, WWE has pushed him, but they really haven't put the full-fledged, push behind him. He was a champion for all those days, but he wasn't the real main eventer. But if you put him on the main event of WrestleMania, I mean, there's nothing else you can say except that this is our guy, and he is the guy that's going to get us to the next level that we need to be at. There's other things that came out of the Heyman article. Heyman sort of bashed the Dixie Carter interview, saying that, of course, Dixie would want to say that she wanted to work with WWE and do a cross-promotional event. Honestly, after the invasion with WCW going up against the WWE, involving ECW with the Invasion pay-per-view during the whole Invasion era, I don't think I ever want to see another cross-promotion with WWE ever again. There's no way in the world they're ever going to give anybody a fair shot. They're always going to make sure that the deck is stacked in their offer, in their favor. That it's just, that was horrible. I grew up my whole life thinking, what would happen if we had Undertaker versus Sting, if we had Hogan versus Sting, if we had, trying to use more Invasion guys at the time, but I mean, like, if you put, Goldberg against Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you put the Rock up against Diamond Dallas Page, if you put, there's a whole bunch of things that you could have done back then, and we didn't get any of it because they didn't bring Ric Flair in until after it was over. They didn't bring the NWO in until it was over. Goldberg didn't come until it was over. And the list goes on and on and on, and there's only so much you can do with Booker T and Diamond Dallas Page. Both of those guys are big-name stars, but they weren't the stars of WCW in order to carry them up against what was a huge roster at the time. It just wouldn't work. So that's me. And hopefully you guys are having fun today, and peace out.